Mr. Fulliger and the college leadership team, the parents and boys who are gathered here in the conference hall today, perhaps the parents who are watching us online if you've been sent the link, and most importantly, all of the boys and staff back in our classrooms today. Good morning and welcome to a chilly start to Term 3. It is so great to be back here with you. And as I said, gentlemen, over the PA this morning, a beautiful day to be wearing your college blazer very proudly. Nudgee community, we are coming to you today from the conference centre, returning to a little bit of normalcy after a number of presentations from the Bodkin room. And Nudgee gentlemen and staff, I can tell you that is a little bit of a theme over this term for us. Being super conscious of everything to do with being safe around COVID-19, but in small steps, returning to normal as much as possible, including returning to this wonderful hall for a set of very special college assemblies over Term 3. Nudgee gentlemen, I hope you have returned today wearing your uniform proudly with a sharp haircut to start Term 4, and if not, I'll see you in the student office at the end of this. To the parents who are sitting in the hall today, very, very warm welcome to you for being here with us, and we'll have a round of bingo after the college assembly. Nudgee gentlemen and staff, today we will begin momentarily with a prayer. We will hear about some social justice activities for this term, some other announcements that we need to know going into this week, and we'll see our first teams presented for our GPS activities this term, and also our music captains. We will finish, of course, with the college song in our classrooms. We look forward to that. Gentlemen, particularly to you, welcome back. I know there is great energy. I have heard many boys yesterday even say they're looking forward to coming back to school. So that says something special about Nudgee. As always, we begin assembly with a prayer, and a welcome to the microphone, Mr. Mara.
Good morning, everyone. Last week, we were saddened to hear of the death of 2015 Nudgee old boy Alex Seckham. And so today and this week particularly, we hold Alex's parents, Wade and Vicky, in our hearts, and his brother Harrison, his sister Elizabeth, and all the old boys of 2015, the old boys of 2016, Harry's year, and the Year 12 students at St Rita's, where Elizabeth is finishing her senior studies. I'm also mindful at this time then for our need for friends and how vitally important they are to our life, our journey through life, and our happiness. We all have plenty of mates. We don't choose our mates. Our mates come to us through the randomness of life. We grow up with them, we go to school with them or to uni with them, we play sport with them, we work with them. We don't choose our mates. But we are thankful for them because they are there for the good times, they are there to tell us how great we are, they are there to make sometimes the long day go just that much shorter. And mates are important. But friends are different. We choose our friends, and our friends are there for the long haul. They are not short term, they are a life term. They are there for the good times and for the rough times. They are there when we need to hear the truth. And they are there even when we don't want them, but we need them. But we have to make the conscious choice. There is nothing random about the friends in our lives. We choose to be a friend to others, or we choose to allow others to be friend to me. And that is a sacred choice, because these people are sacred to us. And they represent the face of God in our lives, in the light and the dark, in the storms and in the peace, in the noise and the din, but particularly in the silence. How many friends have I chosen? For many of you, not many yet, because it is a part of life's maturity, growing in heart and in mind, in order to consciously allow people to be intimate with us, to get so close to us that they leave a mark on our souls. And that is what a friend is. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, amen. God, our Creator, give us friends who will love me for what I am, who give me hope when things are dark, clarity when things are hidden, honesty when I need to hear your voice. And though roads will take me to places I cannot yet see, teach me to be thankful for life. Give me a heart to love and cherish my friends. And may the evening's twilight find us gentle still. Live Jesus in our hearts. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Good morning, Mr. Fulliger, staff, and my Nudgy brothers. It is crazy to think that it's been almost 4 months since some of you were last here. 4 months of independence and 4 months of persistence, qualities that will stand with you for years to come. Last term, we were in a position unlike any other, a place of total disruption and a place that challenged regularity. But now we embark on a new journey. As slow as term 2 may have seemed, this term will possibly be the most hectic term Nudgy has ever faced. More activities, more work, more functions, more sport, more everything. Term 3 has traditionally been regarded as the busy term, but because of the current COVID situation, we have undoubtedly surpassed that threshold. You need to be prepared with routine, intentional with your decisions, but most importantly, understand your limits. With the frenzy of things that you will encounter, you must prioritize your activities with academics and your well-being at the focus. If assessment is looming, concentrate your energy on completing that, then complete whatever follows. With the sheer amount of things that will be achieved this term, it is important to stay focused and have allocated time for you to do the things that you enjoy. Maintaining happiness will create an overall productive and healthy environment for everyone. If you do experience stress or are struggling, please utilise and contact the counselling staff in the student office and understand that you are not alone. When people are busy, we often create distractions or excuses, yet we must attack each day proactively and take responsibility. For the first time in a very long time, we are finally unified once again. Unified through Blazer and unified through our commitment to being the best possible versions of ourselves. Unified by our strength in the stripes.
Well, good morning, everyone. It's always hard to follow Injara because he makes such wonderful speeches. I feel inspired already, and Injara's picked up on some of my themes. Injara, typically there'd be a loud acclaim for what you just shared with us, and I thank you for the insight that he continues to show to us at these moments. Well, welcome back to everybody. Welcome those who are here, parents who are here in the hall, staff, and of course the students, the boys who are here and waiting for their presentations, and the boys spread around the school and tutor group and awaiting the start of term 3. Can I particularly welcome those new boys who are here with us today, joining the community having their first day in that beautiful blue blazer. 14 new boys have joined us. We're back on around 1,680 boys for the start of the term, which is a very, very strong number. I also welcome those new staff who are beginning for their first day on the teaching staff of Nudgee College. They're particularly welcome. As Injara mentioned, I welcome back particularly those boarding boys as well as some local boys who are back for their first day since the end of term 1. It seems a long time ago, that for sure. So those boys, and no doubt they've got some interesting story of what has happened for them over past months. But today's all about looking ahead and looking ahead to the term. Importantly, as a Catholic school and as a Christian school, we're always inspired by our faith. We lead off an assembly with prayer as we did today. The candle is here as a reminder to us as a Christian community that we live in hope. Despite the challenges that are in the world, the broader world with COVID, the broader world with social unrest as well, we live in a time as Christians where we are called to be people of hope. More than just being optimistic or pessimistic. I'm an optimist by nature, but being more than just optimistic, we need to be inspired and hope-filled by the Christian faith, the call of God to be people always of hope that things will provide. This school, when Brother Tracy was about to commence the school, was based on a great statement of hope, of how God will provide. And for all our efforts, the teachers and the staff, the parents and the students, ultimately will all be uplifted by the faith of God and the hand of God working in mysterious ways in this community as He is this very day. All right, will take us into the future. I'm inspired, particularly in a hope-filled way, by the presence of one boy here today. So when we talk about resilience, when we talk about persistence, and I'll mention that on the way through, when we mention about being determined, there is one boy here today who is absolutely emblematic of that today. His presence here, even though I haven't seen him yet, but I know he's up in Tierney tutor group there, being looked after by Miss Danby in tutor group this morning. It's a big shout out to Aidan Roost. Aidan in year 11, mate, it's so great to know that you are here today. For those mates who have been close and supportive of you, I know that's been important in your journey, and the staff as well as your parents and all those who played their hand in helping you over past months and over the journey that you've been on the last year. So we're absolutely delighted but inspired by your presence today, and whatever comes tomorrow, whatever it will be. But we're great that you are here today, and you are such a symbol of persistence, of resilience, and will inspire those boys around you. Injara mentioned that this term is an important term, and it is, and those boys have been at school for a few years, and there's be staff waiting for me to use this tagline because I've used it before with term 3. It's a bit of a sporting analogy, but it is true to say that I like to think of this term as the premiership quarter. Boys, you've heard me say that before, and you'll hear me say it again, I'm sure, in the years ahead. Term 3 is absolutely critical. It is every year, but even this year, I think it's more so. What is ahead? Not just about the busyness of that is there. It will be as it will be, and we'll talk about that today, all that is ahead. But this term, when the beginning of the year seems so long away, and the end of the year still seems way off in the distance, sometimes as young people or even as adults, we can lose our way in the middle of the year. And in the sporting analogy, it's an AFL term, the premiership quarter. So many games are won and lost by the efforts in third term. So many things in our own life are won or lost if it's a case of winning or lost, or our success or sometimes failure on things is because we don't go the distance. We don't stick with our intention. We don't follow our goals that we set. We don't commit to those things that we should, and we lose our way in that kind of third quarter, that almost beyond halfway but not close enough to the end. So I urge you boys in this premiership quarter, this third term ahead, whatever you're involved in, whatever is to be in this term, to commit yourself to being resilient in whatever you face, to commit yourself to be determined to maintain your intentions that you've had this year as you return. To remain resilient when things challenge you as they will throughout this term. Those qualities are what's required to be successful in this premiership quarter. Maintaining your commitment, persisting when you otherwise are tempted to want to give up, to remain resilient when disappointment comes. All those things will be ultimately rewarded at the end of the year. Not on that very day, not in that lesson when you're having a tough time, not in that week which is not going well. The reward sometimes comes later, which is sometimes hard to see when we're young people. We don't want that to be the case. We don't want things to be difficult. We want to get to better times. We all want that. But to push through in those moments is so important. So I urge you in this term, in this premiership quarter, to make the very best of what is ahead for you, boys. Part of it's getting back in that rhythm and routine, and we were somewhere on that journey last term. We'll be more into that journey. We'll hear about that today from Mr. Todd and others as they go through their presentations. Part of that rhythm and routine is your schoolwork and your commitment to the homework and your study and all those deadlines that are ahead for you. Part of that rhythm and routine is getting up to speed with the different challenges that this term will present, particularly in that co-curricular area, our commitments to our music program, our commitment to those cultural pursuits, our commitment to sport. We're doing sport in a way that we've never done before. Fantastic. What an opportunity for us. What an opportunity to make the most of the term that is ahead for us. In all of that, day to day and on sport and all those things that we're going to be doing, mindful again, you'll hear this message many times of those things around safety, those things around hygiene, those things about following COVID guidelines, which is so important, which will protect each and every one of us here and the wider community beyond Nudgee. I think it's important not to become complacent in that area. The Victorian story is one that we need to be mindful of, I believe. Particular message here to the Year 12s, and we'll talk specifically to Year 12 boys on Friday morning. This term, boys, is so important as it leads into Term 4. One of our big goals in learning and teaching this year is the support of Year 12s in this first year of the new senior system. Whatever has been in the first 2 terms and in last term, let's look ahead, make sure you are committed, because you're going to need to be over the weeks and months ahead, and they're going to go very, very quickly. But we'll talk more specifically about that. But we are very, very much focused on ensuring that grade 12s are well prepared as they come into the challenges of the end of the year. Beautifully, Injara finished with that notion of strength in the stripes as a theme. It's been a wonderful theme for us, and he's taken us back to it, and I will as well. And that strength in the stripes around resilience, around persistence, and around commitment is really important in the weeks and days ahead. But it is also important in terms of our well-being. You'll hear that mentioned. Injara's picked it up. I think it's a sign that we're all mindful of it. It was something that I felt needed to be emphasised today. It's already come up today. Our looking after ourselves, whatever is ahead, looking after ourselves by washing our hands, looking after ourselves by committing to our schoolwork, but looking after ourselves in terms of our social and emotional well-being is absolutely critical. But not only looking after ourselves, but looking out for those friends that Mr. Mara talked about, those mates who we are close to here at the school. One of our great strengths in this school and emblematic of our Nudgee spirit is how we are connected with each other. Those beautiful relationships that you boys share. Terrific when it's in good times, but more importantly, it needs to be there when things get challenging. So if you're worried about a mate, reach out to him. If you're worried about a mate, reach out to an adult who might be able to support them. If you're worried about yourself, reach out. Be brave enough to do that. Show that strength in the stripes means, yeah, I'm struggling. Strength in the stripe means admitting to that. Strength in the stripes is asking someone else to help you if things aren't going so well. So boys, going back to where we started, I'm really looking forward and excited about this term and really looking forward to the term. Having you back here day in and day out, getting back involved in the full life of the school is something that gives me energy and something that gives me great hope. I look forward to it. Thanks very much.
Good morning, Mr. Fulliger, colleagues and friends, invited guests and boys. Welcome back to you all, wherever you may be this morning. So I've got a big smile on my face because it gives me great pleasure to be able to ask all of you to rejoin me and to start spreading some more of those wonderful smiles. After a long enforced break, we will be starting the Big Brekkie and Big Barbie programs as of next Tuesday, the 21st of July. The dates for this term are already on the Nudgee College Solidarity team app. There we are, that's what it looks like. Please join up to that if you wish to join in. And I'm delighted to see that some of you have already signed on. We'll be running each week by house order, starting with Tierney next week. As before, priority will be given to the nominated house, but please don't let that stop you signing on. You never know. All the details are on the app, and most importantly, as of now, please wrap up warm. I think we're going to need it. Unfortunately, due to the continued restrictions with accessing venues such as aged care homes, we will not be commencing any other programs as yet. However, we're keeping everything crossed and hoping this will change soon. And when this happens, we'll let you know. However, until then, if you would like to help us start spreading those smiles again and you're in years 10 to 12, please sign up for Big Barbie and Big Brekkie. I would also like to take this opportunity to say a few words about our exciting and much anticipated Year 10 immersion programme, which will run in week 10. My thanks to those of you who have completed the form by the cut-off date of yesterday. For those of you who haven't, please make this a priority as time is tight, and we really do need to make the deadlines we've stated on the Google site. As of this morning, there are still 38 of you who have not responded, so please try and make that a priority as soon as you can. Again, as of this morning, 94 of you have put Fraser as your first choice. Can't think why. That list is now closed. However, clever as I may try to be, I simply cannot make 94 students go into 50 available places. So we've thought long and hard as to how to make fair choices as to who should attend, and have decided to leave it up to Lady Luck. So, all of you boys who have signed up for that immersion are invited to the Mindful Theatre at lunchtime this Friday. I will be wearing my sorting hat, and the names of everyone on the list will be inside that hat, and we will simply draw out 50 names. We really can't say fairer than that. As per the Google site, you will all be informed of your successful immersion on Monday, the 27th of July. Also with immersion, Year 10s, you will have received an email from me yesterday with the sad news that we are no longer able to go to the Quinlan's Nature Reserve. Therefore, we have changed the name of that immersion to Environmental Sustainability and adapted the programme. All the details are on the Google site, which was republished yesterday. As you can only make one nomination, please email me directly if you would like to make a change due to this happening. If you have already chosen Quinlan's, this will automatically be carried over unless you tell me otherwise. So, Year 10, please make sure you have nominated your immersions. Years 10 to 12, please sign on for Big Brekkie and Big Barbie, and everyone, keep spreading those smiles. Thank you.
Good morning, Mr. Fulliger, parents and friends, colleagues, and particularly boys of Nudgee College. The music department kicked off the year with the GPS Day of Excellence, which saw some of our top musicians gathering with other musicians from GPS schools at the Queensland Performing Arts Centre for a day, working with renowned conductors from around the state and an international guest. As we all know, The year that was planned for music had kind of gotten sidelined a little bit, but I can assure you that the music leadership team, the student leadership team, has been working very, very hard to ensure that things go along in some sort of way of semblance, and it's been a great opportunity for them to think about things in different ways and think about ways that in this new normal that we can connect with one another. So although the year was derailed a little bit, it has been an interesting year in other ways, and I would like to extend my thanks to them for all their hard work and their assistance that they have given to me personally and to the music department and to the wider community. One of the things that was sort of blown off course was the presentation of the music captains earlier in term 2. And so it gives me great pleasure to rectify that now today and to be able to present them. So I would like to welcome Mr. Fulliger, our principal, onto stage. And we will present these boys to you now. As our music captain for Nudgee College 2020, I would like to invite to the stage Samuel Shimming. And Sam will be assisted by 3 able vice captains. We begin with Malachi Vale. Thomas Walsh. And Mitchell Watson. Gentlemen of Nudgee, gives me great pleasure to present to you your music leadership team for 2020. And without further ado, I would like to acknowledge the chess team as they get ready to begin their 2020 GPS campaign. So I'd like to invite one of their directors of chess, Mr. Matthew Gilpin, to please come forward and make some presentations.
Good morning. Chess has a long history at Nudgee, and we've had some strong players come through Nudgee in the past. Each year, one of the first tournaments we hold is the Nudgee Old Boys Tournament. At that event, we get to welcome back those who've represented Nudgee in chess in the past to compete against our current team. Most of the returning Old Boys were members of the first 4 when they were at school, and many of them were the top players in their cohort. But there was one current Nudgee student who all of us, myself and all the fellow Old Boys, were worried about coming up against in that tournament. One student whose talent and dedication has allowed him to gain an edge in every phase of the game. That student is this year's Board 1 and chess captain, James Hong.
Good morning, teachers, parents, Mr. Fulliger, special guests, my fellow Nudgee brothers. It has been a pretty hectic term 3. It has been a pretty hectic year so far, and we finally made it to term 3, jam-packed with your favorite sports and activities, including basketball, rugby, tennis, soccer, cross-country, and most importantly, chess. My name is James Hong, and I will be your Board 1 and chess captain for 2020. Without further ado, I will introduce my team. Playing as the second board this year, we have Dasinju Chandrasekhar. This will be Thas's 3rd year playing for the first chess team. Last year, Thas was the best performing player on the team, and I'm sure this year he'll do even better. For our 3rd board this year, we have Jazz Bourne. Like Thas, this is Jazz's 3rd year playing for the first chess team. Jazz's unique play style and interesting decisions not only confuse his opponents, but also sometimes himself. There is a very fine line between genius and insanity, and Jazz leaves his opponents guessing right until the end. Representing Nudgee on board 4, we have Jacob Mardon. Jacob has been playing in the first chess team since year 7, making this his record-breaking 6th year in a row being part of the first team. Over the years, Jacob has consistently shown that he can perform at the highest level, and this year won't be any different.
The two reserves for the 2020 chess team are Eric Yang and Patrick Kennedy. Although young, these two have shown great talent for chess and can most certainly step up to play for the first if need be. This is by far the greatest chess team Nudgee has ever seen this decade, and I'm proud to be its captain for 2020. Thank you.
Well done, James, and good luck to our chess team on Friday. Good morning, Mr. Fulliger, parents who are with us in the hall, also online, staff, and of course, gents. This morning our focus will be on introducing our basketball, football and tennis seasons, and also the presentation of our first teams for those sports. Before we do that, I'd like to congratulate all our players and staff for how they have navigated the final 5 weeks of Term 2 and also the extremely busy holiday period under such COVID conditions. It has been a great team effort, and I'm very confident that our teams are extremely well prepared to take on those GPS competitions that lie ahead. We have received many wonderful comments about our sport holiday program, and I thank the dedicated staff who have worked tirelessly throughout the 3 weeks. Equally impressive was the number of boys who have participated. Well done to all involved. Over 1,400 of you will be involved in Term 3 sport and activities, an unbelievable number. As a community, we continue to make a statement about the value of participation and contributing positively to something so worthwhile. In saying that, it's important to touch on our standards while participating. So when representing the blue and white, we demonstrate our high training standards and always work hard for our team. We show grit and determination and never give up. We develop our resilience by seeking the learning opportunity from our setbacks and our disappointments. We approach coaches for feedback, and we're always respectful of our teammates, coaches, opposition and officials. The final couple of reminders for this morning are about our discipline, some COVID guidelines and our uniform. Gents, we understand that sport is a competitive environment and often can become heated. However, Nudgee men always remain in control and never exhibit excessive aggression. Fighting, sledging and taunting opposition is never acceptable. Remember, if we have any breaches of those non-negotiables, you will be spending plenty of time on the sidelines. Sport under COVID conditions will give us plenty of challenges this term, but as Mr. Fulliger suggested, we're excited about that challenge and that opportunity. A couple of things that I wanted you to be aware of and that will be well advertised for our parents and community. Players, coaches and spectators need to make sure that they don't come on campus on a Saturday if they're feeling unwell. We need to maintain social distancing and wash our hands regularly with soap and water, as well as the hand sanitising stations that will be around. Sadly, our "if you play, you stay" culture that has been strongly developed will need to be on pause for this year. We have to abide by a get in, play and get out protocol, which means players will arrive ready to play and then leave after their game. Spectating tracing will go ahead, and I encourage you boys to help your parents with the technology on that one. We'll be using Eva Check-In, and it will require and provide an easy touchless opportunity for us to keep a register if required by the health department. The other big change, and obviously this is far from ideal, however your safety is always at the forefront. So our spectators will be limited to immediate family for this season. So that will be our parents and siblings. Finally, the uniform. As I mentioned, our get in and play, get out protocols are requiring us to be dressed in our sports uniform for Saturdays this term. So boys will arrive in your college tracksuit and your playing kit, and then you will get changed straight after and then leave with your parents. So that will be really important. Obviously, you have options for college tracksuit and hoodies, our new college hoodie. Remembering as the weather is much cooler, especially today, please make sure you have those. If you have other jumpers, etc., you will be asked to remove those, and that might be uncomfortable for you for an hour or two. Finally, our information of all our draws and bus bookings will be available to you on the app this week as normal, so please check those details. As we said at the start, it presents a wonderful opportunity for us to show our nudgy spirit, dig in, and make sure that we support each other under these COVID conditions and get the best out of our opportunities that we have presented. Please now join me in welcoming our basketball director, Mr. Massingal, to present our 2020 basketball season.
Good morning, Mr. Fulliger, parents and carers, staff and nudgy men. I would like to start off by saying how excited we are to kick off the 2020 GPS basketball season. Considering the challenging times we have faced, basketball provides a much-needed outlet for our boys. We are very proud of the trajectory of the program as it continues to thrive beyond the win-loss column. I would like to commend all of the boys who have committed to our efforts and focus on increasing our development, training, and gameplay by joining our Nudgy Club team. I would also like to acknowledge the boys who made the necessary sacrifices to attend training over the holiday break in order to improve and prepare for the upcoming GPS basketball season. Your hard work and dedication is the foundation of what Nudgy basketball represents. And to all the support staff, teachers, and in particular the old boys that come back to mentor and coach, we are very thankful for your dedication to serving the boys. Although there are restrictions and guidelines around sporting protocols, specifically in regards to how we support our fellow mates on the sporting field, we encourage you to support the boys afar and in passing. Our junior boys are at Nudgy this Saturday, July 18th, and our senior boys are away at Churchy with the first 5 tip-off commencing at 1:30 p.m. Now I would like to invite Mr. Fulliger and the first team coach, Mr. Scott, to the stage. And with great pleasure, I would like to introduce the first team's captain, Thasenju Chansekera. He will now announce the 2020 basketball first squad.
Good morning, Mr. Fulliger, parents, and my fellow Nudgy brothers. Today, as captain, I'm proud to present the first basketball team for 2020. The boys I will present today have worked hard to prepare themselves for what is always a tough battle in GPS first basketball. Beyond our team, Mr. Mass and coaches have been preparing with holiday training sessions in what is a very short preparation for the season ahead. In our team, we have a good mixture of young boys who will lead us into the future and older boys who can dominate now. Although in the current times, it isn't as easy to fill the grandstand, we know those who can attend will enjoy the game. Finally, congratulations to all boys being presented today and in all codes, and good luck with the season. I now welcome to the stage your 2020 first basketball squad. Please hold your applause till the end. Jason Angelo, Jack Birch, Nick Cardiff, Heath Lillicrap, Kashish Frihari, Josh Clark, Mason Davis, Jed Richardson, Matt Smith, Will Smith, and Nate Scott. Also, a special mention to very capable boys who normally join us on stage. Cody Collette, who is currently recovering from a serious knee injury sustained in 2019, and Maurice Jackson, who will represent Nudgy in the first football in Term 3. Congratulations to all boys. I can't wait for tip-off this week. Thank you.
Good morning, Mr. Fulliger, staff, parents and Nudgee men. It was fantastic to be back on the field on Saturday and I think reminded us how much we'd missed our sport over the past few months. Hopefully we can remember that as the term goes on and savour and enjoy every moment over the next 9 weeks. There's been a lot of boys working hard over the holiday to improve their game and hopefully this stands them in good stead for an action-packed and exciting season. We published a document this morning on the team app. It was entitled, "What Does a Nudgee Footballer Look Like?" I'd ask all boys playing football this term to read it, understand it, and live by it when you pull a Nudgee football kit on this term. The main purpose of this morning is to introduce the first 11 boys selected in the 2020 GPS squad. In doing so, I'd also like to acknowledge the efforts of a number of other boys who are not presented this morning, but have made great efforts over the past 9 months and continue to be in contention for selection week to week. Congratulations to First 11 captain Bailey Delapina, and to introduce this year's squad is our football captain, Zach Crow.
Good morning, Mr. Fulliger, staff, parents, and my Nudgee brothers. After an extended, challenging pre-season, I'm sure everyone's itching to get back on the field for the GPS football season. The First 11 squad has been working tirelessly for months upon months, and we are looking forward to representing the college and showcasing all of our hard work this season. Good luck to all the boys playing football this term, and remember to never take the shirt you wear for granted. Wear the stripes with pride, passion, and honour. Before I introduce your First 11 football squad for 2020, I'd like to give a big thanks to Nick Green, Jamie Pybus, Mr. O'Regan, and all the other staff for their hard work in preparing us for the up-and-coming season. Your First 11 squad for 2020. Please hold your applause to the end. Josh Allen. Rowan Asprey. Luke Blackwell. Daniel Carroll. Jono Caspanello. Henry Cliff. Bailey Delapina, First 11 captain. George Earwicker. Kez Isaac. Maurice Jackson. James Khan. Sam Klein. Mason Nash. Lachlan Reed. And Jaira Taylor. Your First 11 squad for 2020.
Good morning, Mr. Fulliger, parents, staff, and men of Nudgee. It gives me great pleasure to be standing in front of you today to announce the first 4 squad for 2020. It has been great witnessing how hard the boys have worked over the past few months, even with the limitations and restrictive measures due to COVID-19. I know they will represent the college with distinction this season. As director of the program, I had 2 goals leading into the 2020 season: to build upon the Nudgee tennis community and ensure all boys had the opportunity to develop their game, regardless if they're a seasonal tennis player or a tennis diehard. I can confidently say that as a program, we have taken leaps and bounds in the right direction, and all thanks should go to the coaching staff, players, and parents supporting the program. In saying that, I would like to also take this opportunity to thank head coach Declan Pearce and the staff from Tennis Gear for their contributions to the Nudgee Tennis program this year. They have been working tirelessly behind the scenes, on and off the court, with the boys to ensure they have the best season possible. We thank them for this. Without further ado, I would like to present to you the captain of tennis for 2020, Declan Townsend.
Good morning, Mr. Fulliger, staff, and men of Nudgee. I've been provided with the opportunity to captain the first team for 2020, and in this position provide leadership to the entire Nudgee tennis community. Despite the challenging conditions, players have continued to demonstrate the Nudgee spirit of resilience, focus, and determination. They have trained hard, and although we do not know what is ahead of us, rest assured we enter this season excited to compete against other schools in the way Nudgee men know best: respectful, honour, and humble. My sincere thanks to all coaches, players, staff, and parents in their commitment to assisting with the ability for GPS tennis to occur in 2020. I now call upon Mr. Fulliger and head coach Declan Pearce to enter as we announce the 2020 first tennis. Number 2 is Callum Stringfellow. Eamon Gerard Stace. Patrick Townsend. Zane Kremer. And MacArthur Swain.
Congratulations to our first 4 tennis team and all of the boys who have been presented today. Nudgee men and staff, it certainly feels very different down here. We are missing having your presence, your applause and your energy, and we look forward to assemblies returning to normal as soon as possible. That said, the crowd who is here today is certainly making a difference. Nudgee gentlemen, before we get underway for term 3, just a couple of announcements, some of which were in the student notices today, but many of them will be quite helpful for us to know heading into the term. Firstly, and very unusually, gentlemen, study hall this term is in the Learning Centre tables, so not in the Tracy building as we have known it for many years. Of course, there is a renovation going on there this term, so study hall is in the Learning Centre tables. You will receive emails and notifications through the notices if you have study hall instead of your normal class, but head to the Learning Centre, please, for that, with the normal rules applying, of course. Year 12s, please pick up your QTAC 2021 guide from Learning and Teaching. That is a personalised copy, and that is certainly part of your future pathway. Make that a priority in coming days. Gentlemen, I would like to congratulate Miss Miller and the library staff for a number of initiatives that they have going on always, but particularly this term. A Year 5 to 9 Games Club is underway. Check the notices for that. There is a Lego Builders Club for the same age group. These things are about boys coming together with similar interests and beyond just books, of course, which are wonderful in their own right. But I thank Miss Miller and her staff for their energy in providing those opportunities. Boys, if you're interested in that, have a look at the student notices. Likewise, to Miss Ellison and the art team, thank you to them for their facilitation of the memory project, and there's some messages today about that. An art club will kick off next week, and I know many boys appreciate the art club. Gentlemen, I mentioned earlier, of course, that we needed to be back at school now with a wonderful sharp haircut and wearing our uniform well. And when I walked down to assembly today, and certainly being here with the boys being presented, our uniform has been outstanding. If there are two areas of improvement, Nudgee men, it would be that many of us, particularly in the older grades, are wearing our hair too long, and that needs to be trimmed up. Perhaps not today, hopefully not today, but certainly over the weeks as the term gets longer, that is an area of focus. Gentlemen, also at the risk of oversharing, can I show you my favourite pair of socks? I got given those as a gift by somebody, and they said to me, Peter, in the difficult job that you sometimes have, wear these happy socks and think happy things while you are wearing them. Gentlemen, happy socks are awesome. They are my favourite pair of socks. I love them, but they are not part of the Nudgee uniform. The Nudgee uniform socks look more like that. They are plain black or navy, and they are understated, with the focus being on our Nudgee uniform, not on our socks. Similarly, you have heard me speak before about us wearing white socks and how much that is a negative. So gentlemen, don't be surprised if you are challenged by your teachers this term over the wearing of inappropriate socks. The process for that is simple. If you don't have the correct uniform in any way, you head to the student centre and they will give you a replacement set of whatever it is that you need, and that is recorded. You wear that piece of uniform and then you return that to the student office, hopefully the next day or in the next couple of days. But gentlemen, there's only so many times before you might be issued with a community detention, just to help you remember to wear the right thing. If we've run out of loan gear, then you get a uniform pass. And hopefully a number of teachers would ask you over that day to show that uniform pass. So gentlemen, there will be a focus on that this term, and I know that you will respond to that really well. An extra reason to look sharp, Nudgee men, is that not tomorrow but next Wednesday and Thursday are our school photos. So we want to look absolutely fantastic for our PC photos and our individual photos, which of course go in annuals and are sold to parents and are proudly put up at home. So more details to come, but next week is our school photo days. To Nudgee seniors who sit around the chapel area, sadly, Mr. Mara mentioned about the passing of beautiful Alex Seckham recently and unexpectedly. And Alex's funeral is on Friday, and that will be taking place during morning tea and beyond, and there will be many members of the Nudgee and Queensland community at that. So boys, if you sit around that area, I know that you will honour that funeral as it takes place on Friday. Year 11s, you have your session with Elevate on Friday in period 1. Year 12s for both PC and period 1 on Friday, you will have a year 12 assembly where we'll be hearing from a number of speakers about the term ahead, including Brother Damien Price, who will return. Gentlemen, in the calendar for year 7 to 10, it says SOS interviews, but they will not take place in that format as we have for many years on Friday. We will be doing those in a different way, so effectively school as normal on Friday morning, even though it says there are those interviews on Friday morning. But year 10, after school on Monday and at the end of the day on Monday, you have your set plan interviews, and there's information in the notices about that. Gentlemen, we've heard plenty of messages about staying safe around the COVID-19 pandemic. Of course, our classrooms will remain with desks separated like we are under test conditions. Classrooms will have hand sanitizer, and that will be around the school. We know to wash our hands regularly and use hand sanitizer when we need to. Now, in that light, and I thank Mr. Fulliger for this and the college focus, there's many things that I love about Nudgee, but one of them is our ability to put labels on great things. So, gentlemen, very shortly, over the coming days, every Nudgee student and staff member will get an individual bottle of hand sanitizer that you can carry with you around the school. If you like, once it's empty, you can fill it up and keep that bottle going. Nudgee men, that is something of a symbolic focus for us and a practical focus to make sure we are staying safe during this time. Gents, just finally, before we go through our assembly rituals of 3 cheers and the college song, which I'll encourage you to join in your PC room, just some motivational words to start term 3. In a moment, we are going to watch 2 minutes only of a video, which is a quite famous video and concept. It is a speech from 4-star Admiral from the United States, Admiral William McRaven. And William McRaven was speaking to the class, graduating class of the University of Texas. Boys in Teenie might have seen part of this video, I know, because Miss Barrett has made a focus of this similar concept. Nudgee gentlemen, Admiral McRaven is a man who led by example and is well known in military circles as a man of integrity and honour and doing the simple things. And that's certainly the focus of this speech that he gave to the University of Texas graduating class. Let's enjoy 2 minutes of that, please, together.
What starts here changes the world. I have a few suggestions that may help you on your way to a better world. And while these lessons were learned during my time in the military, I can assure you that it matters not whether you ever served a day in uniform. It matters not your gender, your ethnic or religious background, your orientation, or your social status. Our struggles in this world are similar, and the lessons to overcome those struggles and to move forward, changing ourselves and changing the world around us, will apply equally to all. So here are the 10 lessons I learned from basic SEAL training that hopefully will be of value to you as you move forward in life. Every morning in SEAL training, my instructors, who at the time were all Vietnam veterans, would show up in my barracks room, and the first thing they'd do was inspect my bed. If you did it right, the corners would be square, the covers would be pulled tight, the pillow centered just under the headboard, and the extra blanket folded neatly at the foot of the rack. It was a simple task, mundane at best, but every morning we were required to make our bed to perfection. It seemed a little ridiculous at the time, particularly in light of the fact that we were aspiring to be real warriors, tough, battle-hardened SEALs. But the wisdom of this simple act has been proven to me many times over. If you make your bed every morning, you will have accomplished the first task of the day. It will give you a small sense of pride, and it will encourage you to do another task, and another, and another. And by the end of the day, that one task completed will have turned into many tasks completed. Making your bed will also reinforce the fact that the little things in life matter. If you can't do the little things right, you'll never be able to do the big things right. And if by chance you have a miserable day, you will come home to a bed that is made, that you made. And a made bed gives you encouragement that tomorrow will be better. So if you want to change the world, start off by making your bed.
Nudgee men, I'm sure you all made your bed this morning. Let's take that simple metaphor into this term. For all of us from grade 5 to 12, we all have the ability to be leading students, leading Nudgee men. Let's do the simple things. Let's keep our routines. And in wanting to help others and help make the world a better place, let's focus on ourselves. Nudgee gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to call forward to do our 3 cheers today in somewhat unusual circumstance, one of our music leaders, Tom Walsh. And we'll turn the video to Tommy. Thank you, Tom. Well done. Gentlemen, in classrooms, can we please now be upstanding? In our classrooms, can we please be upstanding as we join in this virtual rendition of the school song? So let's hope this works.
Beneath our vibrant spirit, beyond our victory, between our pride and glory, we are a sign of faith. There's a love I do not know, but the sounds and furies fall. Great honor, great glory, great voice and great song. But when sound and fury fell that voice, and no real thing is great, I stand alone and dare to whisper love. I am a sign of faith. There's a love I do not know. Other sounds and furies fall. Great honor, great glory, great voice and great song. Fleeting life we had before us, yet always can we say, one small man, 10,000 brothers, we are a sign of faith.
Wow, that was the extended mix, boys. Hopefully we won't have that one again. Gentlemen, let's make a great start to Term 3. Again, congratulations to everyone presented today. Let's hit the ground running. Have a great day. Year 10, be thankful you don't have to stack the chairs. Let's head off to Period 2.